What is up, Tampa Bay? So excited to see y'all, and for everyone else joining us from all across North America and other countries as well, because we do have people chiming in. It's a pleasure to connect, and welcome to Living in Tampa Live. I'm joined by my trusty co-hostess with the mostest over here, Miss Stacy Amon. Good evening, Stacy.
Good evening, everyone.
How was your day?
Fabulous. I actually had a very busy day running around doing final walkthroughs for families. That was really exciting. And what else? Oh, I did some home inspections. So, yeah, good day.
Stacy's out there slinging them houses. Making people's dreams come true, and we appreciate it. So thank you. And if we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcala, y'all. It is a pleasure to connect with you guys. And this show, if this is your first time joining us, we welcome you to come connect, collaborate, and contribute to this conversation. Join us in the chat. If you have questions, we make this a Q&A style session. We bring topics every single week, but man, you guys bring the best questions, and we try to do our best to answer those live. If you have questions about the greater Tampa Bay area, it could be anything from food to new construction developments, whatever's on your mind. Just feel free to bring those questions, and we're happy to do our best to answer those live with you. Also, let us know where you're watching from. We love to know where people are chiming in from, connecting with us, because like I said before, we got people all over the country who continually come back and just contribute to this conversation. So we appreciate it. We just wrapped up a holiday weekend, and the beaches were on fire, y'all. Like, they were so busy. They were so busy. There's a Facebook group I follow, many around the area, and one of them took a screenshot. It was a photo of the line going into Honeymoon Island State Park up in Dunedin, which is a 2.5 mile causeway to get from the mainland over to the key there. And it was already backed up all 2.5 miles at 7:30 in the morning. So people were ready, man. They were ready to get on those beaches. The water temperatures were 88 degrees. I mean, it was perfect. Right. What a weekend. Our weather was phenomenal last week. It was warm. It is already getting hot here in Florida. And I think there were some record temps in the middle of the state. I know there's a bunch of crazy stuff happening around the country with weather, tornadoes. Shout out to y'all. Anybody who's been in the path of that, saying prayers for your family. Hope you guys are safe, and I've already seen some crazy devastation from tornadoes this year. So just know we're praying for you guys. We know what challenging weather can be like here in Florida, and we just want to make sure that you guys know that our thoughts and prayers are with you. So be safe out there, y'all. Be safe. Okay. And today we are going to talk a few different things. We're going to get into numbers. A lot of the real estate statistics were released last week. So we're going to get into some of the numbers, because we are in a very interesting real estate market, which we've been saying for the last 4 years. And it feels like Groundhog's Day, except it does change. But the one thing that has been consistent is it is interesting, to say the least. So we're going to get into some of that stuff today. We're going to talk about some new construction developments. We're going to talk about some community stuff that has really been a focal point, here in Pinellas County, which is where the beaches are. That's Clearwater, St. Pete. So we'll get into those today too. And just really happy to connect with you guys. So like I said, let us know where you're watching from. Happy to answer those questions live with y'all. And what is up? I know we're typically a little bit more laid back after a holiday Tuesday, which is the Monday is feeling Tuesday. Is that the term that people typically use on those, right? Like, yeah. It's a very Monday-y Tuesday today. So no doubt about that. Jonathan, what's up, my man? Again, we need to connect. Love to buy you a beer or a cocktail, my man. It's on me. You just let me know. Marcella says that she's in Virginia. Good evening, Virginia. Happy to connect there as well. And then we've got our first question of the night. So let's kick this off. Let's get into this. Gustavo, mucho gusto, senor. He says, Juan, can I buy a single family house in Lakewood Ranch with a $550 budget? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can. You can. If my mind serves me correctly, you're going to be in Star Farms right now. I think that there are options in DR Horton that are ish in that range. Stacy, do you have the latest the price sheet?
I don't know. Yeah, I can look and see if I have it. But I did get a family in Star Farms around that price point
Yep.
with D.R. Horton.
Yeah. Stacy will look that up, Gustavo, why we're here live. That's a great question, man. So we'll dig in, see if we can pull up some numbers. We didn't get numbers this week like we normally do because of the holiday. So, but we'll dig into those. We'll have numbers within the last couple weeks, and they'll be pretty close. So we'll definitely let you know what's over there. But I think that is an option for you. Again, we did get somebody in there right around that number, so we'll check that out and come back to you. June, good evening, June. June says Lando Lakes here. Stacy, you got a neighbor. Close. You are very, very close, y'all.
Yes.
And Stacy, I got to reach out yesterday. Speaking of which, neighbors, they were looking in that Clermont, hour west of Orlando area, and we don't ever talk about that, but like that's Stacy's backyard, y'all. It's not something that we don't usually talk about Orlando because Orlando proper is not our zone of genius. We typically will connect you with, we've got 2 referral partners out there that we send clients to. We don't ever try to service an area that we don't know. Our role here is to be a guide. I don't ever want to put a family in a situation where we're just guessing. So we do that. But that area up there, that northwest corridor of Orlando, coming west, that's going to be Stacy's backyard, literally. So if you guys have questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out to her. I know Marsha's not with us this evening. She's out shaking hands and kissing babies. she was invited to an event, and we sent her on the tour there because she's awesome. She loves connecting with people, so that's great. But thanks for reaching out, June. I always love to know where our viewers are watching from, and thank you for being a viewer. We appreciate it and your contributions. Did you find anything yet, Stacy?
Not yet, but I was gonna say, when my daughter was looking for a home, she lives in Orlando. I was trying to get her into Clermont because it was really close to me. But it's a really cute town.
And it's got, what's the name of the mountain over there? Is it Sugarloaf Mountain? No, that's in Michigan. What's the name of the mountain over there? I'm sorry, there's a hill. It's 300, it is the highest point in the state of Florida. It's like 360 feet of elevation in Clermont, in case anyone wants to know.
I didn't know that.
I will look it up, but it is the highest point.
A little much for me right now.
Yeah, I missed that mountain. That is definitely not appropriate.
Like what?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Awesome.
Yeah, but we went to a really nice lunch place down there on the lake, the Salt Shack. It was really good. It was really pretty out there.
The Salt Shack.
Yeah, they have a cute downtown,
Clermont,
like village area.
Hill.
And there's some new construction out there as well.
I love it. And they got the wilderness parks out there. It's actually a really nice area.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice area. So yeah, but just thought I would let everybody know that, because again, we don't usually talk about Orlando, just because when people talk about Orlando, they're usually talking about Disney, and that is definitely not our backyard. Even though if you were to fly, you could probably get there in like 30 minutes. Driving, not so much. So it's definitely not the same case. So we definitely like to keep it real over here. All right. Cobra Stacker. That is a very interesting handle there, Cobra Stacker. I like that. Hey, Juan, I've watched many of your videos. I'm in the UK looking to move to Tampa, coming over in September. You need to see some properties. Can we sort that? Yes. If you look in the description of this video, you'll see a link to my calendar. And you can just literally schedule a time to jump on a Zoom call with us right there. All right. There are my email, my phone number, all of that is on that screen or in the description. So you can see that. But it says schedule a time to talk with Juan, or a 45-minute conversation. Click on that and it'll take you right to our calendar. You can schedule a time that's most convenient for you. So love the name Cobra Stacker. It reminds me of G.I. Joe as a child. So shout out to that. Also need immigration attorney. Okay. We'll make the connection. Gustavo says, thank you. I know we're working on that, buddy. We'll get to it for sure. Let me know when you get that too, Stacey.
Yeah, I am having a hard time finding the Sarasota Manatee County one.
We will find it. We will find it. All right.
Let me keep digging.
Yep. Glee. That's such a cool name, Glee. Have you been to Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Tampa? Is it beautiful? I have not. I would be speaking out of pocket. That's what the young kids say. If I was talking about being at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. If any of you viewers have ever been there, please let Miss Glee know, because she has a question. Love it. Okay. Any suggestions on Brandon? We need to get more specific. What type of suggestion would you like? I'm sure you have more. Okay, hold on. There's more to come. All right, so we're looking for a good community, of course, right? We don't want to put anybody in places that aren't good. But great question there. How large is the East Indian population in Tampa? That is a question that I cannot answer for you. If you go to niche.com, and let me pull this up in real time for y'all. I know we've spoke of this before, but I want to pull it up now because this is an awesome resource, and I don't think enough people know about niche. So we'll pull it up. Now, here's what I want everybody to know. This is just a resource. This is not the gospel, right? But this is a really, really good resource. Find a town. Let's see. Brandon, suburb of Tampa. You can put in any suburbs in here. It's wonderful. It gives you an overall ranking. It takes into account reviews. There's a lot of different factors that it does here, and you can kind of see it. But I love how it's broke down. For those of you who are just joining here, I'm sharing niche.com, a really, really cool website. So you come down here, it gives the grade. On here, it talks about schools, housing, jobs, activities, all the things. And as you go down, it'll start giving you some specifics on it. The one thing I will say for sure is their real estate data is really old. It's for whatever reason, they pull some last year typically, and this isn't close, guys. So, but the rest of the stuff I found has been pretty darn accurate overall. So I just want you to be aware of that. Let me jump out of here and then kill this real quick. So when you're looking through that, but the one thing you will find is schools, the ranks, how diverse it is, those types of things. It talks about crime and safety. You'll see that information in here. The residents, this is where you might find some of what you're looking for when you're talking about the demographics of a specific area. As real estate professionals, we're not allowed to tell you who lives in the community. That's just that we're bound by specific rules because of the Civil Rights Act. So I'm just sharing that with you. But it will talk about diversity, age, and you can get even deeper on these subjects if you want. You just click on it, and it'll show you a lot of those demographics that you were asking about earlier. So this might be helpful to you. It doesn't look like it's sub niches down quite to what you're looking for there, but hopefully that helps in some way, shape, or form. But this is a great resource. Talks about income, just a lot of different things on this website. I featured this on the channel quite a bit because I like using this, and there's even reviews. And the one thing I always tell people when it comes to reviews, just please be mindful. It's usually the squeaky wheel that puts reviews up. Not always. There are, here's an example. There are 2 really good reviews here, but just read them, take them with a grain of salt. If you can find patterns, that's what Stacey, do you look for patterns when you look at reviews? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That way, because there's always somebody who's upset because the package was damaged.
Yeah.
Right? And they blame the company. And you're like, those 2 things don't have anything to do with each other, right? Like,
yeah, I always really, too, I pay attention to exactly what they're complaining about.
Yep. Exactly. But just a word of advice. This is a great, great resource. I love this as a tool. So that's niche.com for anybody who's never seen this website before. It's awesome. Great site to do some homework on it. So thank you for the question also, Glee. Appreciate that. All right, Cindy.
I found my inventory sheet.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to come back to Gustavo's question here.
Yes, we can get you into Star Farms with D.R. Horton. They have a Hayden floor plan in like the 530, 540s. And that is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. 2-story home. You can get into a Cali for that low 500s, which is a single story, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. There's an Elston.
Get down to floor plan. So we said, what did we say so far?
The Hayden, which I think is probably the biggest one.
Yep.
In that price point. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Yeah, you may have to go.
We'll track it down.
Go down to the next section.
Yeah, that's where it was. Sorry, y'all. Real-time television. Open it up. Under contract. It expanded and went crazy from there. All right, here we go. So the Alex, the Harper, Darwin, Robbie, Camden. No.
So it says show fewer. That's weird.
Yep. Didn't have them all. Let me go back in here and just see if we can reset this. We might have to go to a different community. Yeah, they're not showing that.
Okay, well, there's an Elston, a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath for that low 500s.
There we go. This is the Elston model over there in Lakewood Ranch. So 4 bedrooms, 2.5-bath, 2-car garage, 2,260 square feet. That's $466. And the one thing about D.R. Horton is the prices you see online are going to come pretty close to what they actually are. And they do include all of your landscaping, and your lawn and your flowers, trees, everything. And the sprinkler system is going to come with that too, which is really cool. I know a lot of people that are used to building homes up north. You know, we never got anything outside of the driveway and the walkways. But this builder does it all. And a lot of the builders do, just so you guys are aware. But just want with D.R. Horton, Lennar, their prices are pretty close to what they advertise, just so if you had questions there. But that's a great insight. Thank you for sharing that, Stacey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and isn't that community maintenance free?
I don't remember. We have to look it up. We'll find out.
I think it is.
I know the townhomes are. I don't know that the single family homes are.
I think they are, because I remember thinking, are you kidding? I need to move here. I'm tired of doing my yard work.
That's really good. Exactly. It's really good. All right. We answered that for Gustavo. Let's keep it rolling here. Welcome, y'all. For those of you joining us late, welcome to Living in Tampa Live. Always happy to answer these questions. We're answering them in real time with you guys this evening. We are going to talk some real estate prices and talk about what's happening in the market in general, but we're just answering your questions in real live and on real time and having a good time doing it. I got a question over on Instagram, Stacey, from Evan. It says, are there homes in Starkey Ranch that have a backyard? I know new builds tend to have smaller yards. If so, what are the areas in Starkey Ranch? I think that we'd have to get perspective. What is a good sized backyard to you? This is where we always kind of get in a little pinch, right? Stacey is like, what does that mean? Because most lots are big enough to put a pool in, and that's a yard. Now, if you're looking for a half acre, you're not going to find that there. And depending on whether it was a 2-story or a single story, when you put a ranch style home, a single story home on one of those lots, the way that the builders typically do it, you can have a 40 foot, 50 foot, 70 foot lot, whatever it's going to be in those developments. And, if it's a specific builder, they may have in a specific run, they may have all 70-foot lots as an example. 70 feet wide is what we're referring to. Now, they all might be 110 feet deep, 100 feet deep. Those are the variances. But it'll be consistent across the property there, or I'm sorry, the development. Those lots are typically big enough to put a pool and have enough room for your dogs to run around. So again, I don't know what a yard is to you. That's the thing. We just have to get a little bit more specific. Happy to answer those questions. But typically we don't see anything bigger than a 1/4 acre max on properties like that. We're talking about 10,000 square foot lots. A big lot in Tampa would be 12,000 square feet, right? We just don't see large lots like that. Like Stacey's house is almost a half acre. That's a huge lot. All right. So good question though. And if it's a single story, and it's 2,500 or 3,500 square feet, it's taking up a majority of that space. So that's why some people will opt for the 2-story when they have families, so their kids have a larger backyard to play in. Great question, though. I love the question, by the way. So that was good. That was Evan over on Instagram. So great question, Evan. Thank you for asking. Thank you for contributing to the conversation for sure. Okay, Stacy, you want to take this one?
Coming in late from Southern Illinois, we are just a few miles from one of the tornadoes. We are coming down at the end of July, looking at apartments to retire in the spring.
Awesome. Didn't say what area, but Cindy, I'm glad to hear that you're okay. That's good news. Like I said, we're prayers out for everybody. Weather across the Midwest has been crazy, y'all. I feel like every day I see a new tornado video, and I'm not sure if it's an old one. And then you're like, oh, this is actually happening right now. It's crazy what's going on. So prayers for y'all. Ronnie says, good evening, Juan and Stacy. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Ronnie. It's been a while.
Absolutely. It has been a while.
Yeah.
Ronnie's busy. He's living his life. He's got things to do on Tuesday. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for chiming in and making a contribution. As always, we appreciate it. Gustavo says Orlando is way too busy. I tend to agree.
I do too.
That's why I don't live there. And I like the water, and I like breezes. Breezes are nice. When you live in the middle of the state, no such thing. Breezes don't exist over there. It gets hot, and like bag of clams is the best way I would describe that. So good luck to y'all out there. You are welcome, Cobra Stacker. You are welcome. Gustavo says, wow, nice 5 bedrooms. Yeah, you can, it's right there. You're right at that, that home stretch when you're talking about Lakewood Ranch, but it is possible. So definitely reach out. I know, like I said, Stacy's building down there right now with the family. So working on that as we speak. Gustavo says, I have 3 kids and I need at least 4 bedrooms. That's the way to go, man. There's 3 or 4 different 5-bedroom floor plans over there. So some good options that'll help out. Kenneth says, Star Farms, high HOA and plenty of bad reviews. Well, that's interesting because it's a brand new development. So, but I'm going to dig into that because I love when people bring perspective. High HOA, again, perspective is everything. So what's high to one person may not be to another, but completely understand the insight there, Kenneth. So thanks for sharing, my man. Appreciate that. We'll dig into that.
I think their HOAs are a couple $100 a month, but if it's taking care of your lawn, so it's maintenance free, and you're getting 3 clubhouses and pools, and it's one of those fancy neighborhoods, has tons of amenities.
Yeah. Well, if you're not touching your lawn, then or your landscape, that's what you said, right? So that's a whole nother game because Stacy, what do most people pay for lawn service? You got a ½ acre. It's you're larger, right?
Yeah, so before I moved here though, we were probably paying 7 years ago, we were paying like $110. And I had a normal size yard. That's
what we see too. 80 to 120 in Pinellas County for our size lots, which are right around 10,000 square feet. A lot of ranch style homes though, so that they take up a little bit more space, and a lot of us have pools, so they're not much grass. But if you figure that you're paying $100 a month for lawn care, then that's actually really affordable. But if that's important to you to not do that, then it wouldn't be. Again, then it would feel expensive to Kenneth's point. So I think that either way, it's a fair perspective, and I appreciate you sharing with us. So thanks, Kenneth. Always love the contribution. Gustavo said, would you mind call it a mid-tier house? The builder, Lennar, D.R. Horton. Who else is in that category? I'll say Neil. Neil's mid-tier, like it's the level above our budget builder. That's what we would call that, right? So like the Centex, KB Homes, like those are the guys that are on the lower end of construction. And then you've got Lennar, D.R. Horton, the production builders is what we call them. You're still getting quartz countertops, real wood cabinets, like all the things you would expect in a property. They typically will give you shower surround as opposed to tiles, that's where you see that savings kind of come into play. And then you go up to that semi-custom, Taylor Morrison, Homes by West Bay, Pulte Homes, Neil Communities, where you have that semi-customization. So they're all block construction, Gustavo. Still a decent product by far. I think it's a really good dollar per value. D.R. Horton is the way I would explain it. Again, their reviews, if you look nationally, are terrible, but they do a really good job here. Lennar we've had struggles with service and I'll just be transparent. The deliverable from Lennar, I haven't had clients who have purchased complain on the back end. So I'm sharing that with you, but the service side has been very challenging in our experience so far. So just sharing that with you guys. And then once you get up into those semi-custom builders, we've had a lot of really good experience with most of those builders. Their deliverables are really, really nice. They do a good job, but not everybody has the 700 plus to get started on those. So something to keep in mind. Great question, man. Great question. Appreciate it. And for those of you joining us on Instagram, welcome also. And we have platforms everywhere. Welcome to Living in Tampa Live. We take a lot of Q&A here, as you guys can see. Feel free to bring the questions. Let us know where you're watching from. We do have some things we'd like to get into tonight, but we're gonna keep it rolling. Good evening, Miss Kiara. Long time no see.
Hi, Kiara.
Do most of the communities allow you to build a pool after building your home? A lot of the communities build with a pool lot in mind. It's more common than it is not. I can't remember the last time we had anybody buy a new construction home that wasn't on a pool lot, unless they asked for a very specific type of water lot where it was kind of low lying in the back. But almost all of them are, right? So.
Yeah, and I know some of those homes look really close together, but it is possible to build a pool and get a little tractor in between those two homes.
Yep. That's a good point, Stacy. If you guys are thinking you're going to come to Florida and get 25 feet between each house, it's not going to happen. So I just want everybody to get prepared now, if that's what you're thinking on the new construction side. And even where we live, I mean, my neighbor's house can't be... you can't fit a car. Well, you can, but it's close. So, I mean, it's 12, 15 feet is max. It's going to be really tight. Okay. Can you share the link on the house plan, please? Yes, we can do that. We'll put it in the chat there. I'll leave it in the description, Gustavo, so you can grab that at the end. And then feel free to reach out to us, man. Contact info is down there. Shoot us an email. And then we'll send you all the information on that community as well. Make your life a lot less complicated. All right. Lots of questions. Just getting caught up here. I wonder what is the safe, beautiful area that is peaceful. What area do you recommend? There are lots. Here's a ton. Brandon is busy. Riverview is busy because you were asking about that earlier. That's some of that most congested, heavily trafficked areas in the greater Tampa Bay area, just so you're aware. If you want more peaceful, you're going to need to head a little bit further south or a little bit further east, like Lithia. That's a good example. A lot more laid back in Lithia. Or you head north up to San Antonio, out near Angeline, Odessa. Those areas are really, really laid back. Not nearly as busy as that Riverview Brandon. Riverview Brandon, that might as well be Tampa Light, right? So I'm not kidding, right? It's busy like that. You know what I mean? So that was part of the first suburban sprawl, was that Riverview Brandon area. And a lot of people move there, and it's really, really busy. So just keep that in mind. Great question, though. Great question. Lobo, my man, good evening. Good people. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Let me see here. Cindy says, Tampa Clearwater area, looking as far north as Wesley Chapel and Largo. Largo to the south. We need at least a 3-bedroom for under $2,000 a month. I know I found a few. Thanks for your videos. No food, no flood or evac. You need food. It's okay. You were typing feverishly. I know what happened there. I was like, it just tripped me up. I'm Ron Burgundy. If you put it on that screen, I'm gonna read it. I'm very dangerous that way. Yeah, I was like just be so mindful of it. I sing in the worship band at church, and we have lyrics on the TVs. Like we can see them, but the community can't. And whenever they're late moving the screen, I'm just like, I'm making up words. I got nothing. And like, you can't do that when you're in a church stage, right? And I don't. But it's like sheer panic comes across me because like I need the words. I just don't remember them. So yes, when you type it, I'm gonna say it. But yes, I understand what you meant. Okay, and those areas are vastly different. You know, Largo is in Pinellas County. For those of you guys who don't know, that's Clearwater, St. Pete area. Largo's just south of Clearwater. It's the next city south. And then Wesley Chapel is about an hour and 10 minutes north east of Largo. And just in terms of geography in the area. But both can be very nice. Just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So hopefully that helps too. Oh, there we go. She says flood or evac zone. I need more words. Yes. Same page here. Awesome. Okay. Daniel says, where's the best place to look for apartments on Clearwater Beach? Walking distance to the beach, or should we look for homes to rent looking around $2,000 a month? Trying to think it. Apartment search or apartments.com. That is the best resource for apartments, period. Hands down. It's not even close. Anywhere in the country that place isn't. Well, probably outside of New York City. New York City is a different animal. But here for sure, that's the best resource. Walking distance to the beach, you're going to be on Clearwater Beach. If you can find something for $2,000 a month, God bless you. Let me know, because that you walking the causeway, if you're going to walk that entire causeway, it's going to take you probably 45 minutes to walk from the mainland across to the barrier island. So it's quite a hike. But yeah, Daniel, if you can do that, you're a rock star, bud. That would be awesome. And you might be able to in a studio, but I don't know many studios that are available over there. Good question, though. Good question. Mo says, hello from Trinity. Hello, Trinity. It's a nice area. Most people we don't talk about it. I've never done a whole video on Trinity, but it is a really, really nice area. Also laid back, not overwhelmingly busy, kind of in that sweet spot of not too close to all the craziness, but close enough to the beaches where you can have some access, and their schools rank pretty high too. So nice area out there, Mo. All right, Stacey, this one's for you. Cobra Stacker.
If you buy a house in a community with the monthly fees, do you own that property outright, or is it like a lease?
Ooh, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked us about a land lease before. Yes, it is real property, and the legal term that is used is fee simple, meaning that you own it. Okay. Now, just like everything else on this planet, I always laugh because Robert Kiyosaki said, he used to say it all the time. I'm a huge follower of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's got some strong opinions that I don't necessarily agree with. But the one thing he says is, we don't own anything. He's like, try not paying your taxes. Right? Let me know what you actually own. And I was like, oh, that's a very fair statement, right? So those HOAs are required for you. You're going to have to pay them. Now, they would typically levy something against your property, put a lien on your property if you don't pay them. And then at some point they would try to get you to sell the property, but it would be very difficult for them to foreclose on you. It's possible, right? So again, I'm not giving legal counsel, but yes, you have to pay them if that's what you're asking. That part is not an option. At some way, shape, or form, the fees are going to come and they're going to stack up. So just keep that in mind. It's a good question, though. It is not a land lease. And that is the term that we would use on the other side of that, where you're just leasing the property. Like a lot of manufactured homes are on land leases, right? Hawaii is known for having a lot of land leases. There are condos in Clearwater on top of the world, Stacy. Those are all land leases. So the leases on those properties might be 100 years or 300 years or whatever it is, but at some point the land is going back to the owner. which is crazy when you think about that.
Yeah.
Right. 1,000 years. Some of them are for 1,000 years. Fun fact, the Guinness brewery is on a land lease, for those of you who are wondering. Right. Fascinating stuff. That was from my stint in the beer business. Okay. Corey says, hey, y'all, tuning in a little late. Yard work calls my man. Shout out to you. Get it in, brother. Get it in. Speaking of churches, what are good churches in the area? Non-denominational is what I'd be looking. Daniel, we have so many churches here. So many, man. There are a lot. We go to Mission City in Largo. It's on the Largo Clearwater border, and it's non-denominational, and we love it. It's been wonderful to us. There are so many, man. If you guys are watching later and you've got great church recommendations that are non-denominational for Daniel, would you please put them in the chat? That'd be greatly. I'm sure he would appreciate it. So lots and lots of options, man. Okay. Corey's tuning in from C-Bus again. You're asking for it, man. I'm going to start playing the theme song when I see your name from now on. Pull my son in here. He'd be more than happy to sing it to you. I love that. All right. What's a good location for commuting to MacDill? South Tampa. That is the best.
Well, it depends on how much money you have, right?
Well, yes, the question, man. Like, listen, getting to MacDill Air Force Base is not an easy task once you're off the peninsula over there. St. Pete, that's a short stint. You're talking 15 to 20 minutes, into work with traffic and lights and everything. But South Tampa is definitely the best. Unfortunately, military salaries and living in South Tampa don't go together usually. On the low end, we see housing prices over there for a single family home, like $550. You're in flood zones, heavy flood zones, by the way. And you can find some crazy stuff. We had a client write an offer on a property over in South Tampa, and we had the home inspected, and there was cloth electrical, talking old school, y'all, 1950s. Right. It wasn't knob and tube. There was actually a breaker, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. But the actual electrical that was ran through the house was covered with cloth, not with plastic and rubber like it is today.
Wow.
Yeah. So crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
We've helped a lot of families. They move farther north and drive about an hour commute to work.
Yep. Yeah. Because they get so much more house. Mm-hmm. You can live in Parrish and drive 45 minutes to an hour to get there, or you can live in Wesley Chapel up to the northern suburbs and take 45 minutes to get there also. But it's tough driving down Dale Marbury, lots of traffic, lots of lights. It's not an easy drive to get into MacDill Air Force Base. So great question, though. Great question. Dude, really? OH. I'll give it to you. IO. There you go. I hope you guys paid enough athletes to come this year. All I know is you're lucky that Daddy went over to the NFL. Now you get a little bit of time. No, I'm kidding. All right. If we start talking football, you get me all fired up. I love it. All right. What are pre-owned pool homes going for in newly development areas? 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Wesley Chapel, Epperson, etc. 550s?
Yeah, it's hard to find a home with a pool for under 550.
Yep. What were we looking the other day?
You better jump.
We found two of them in Parrish that were right around that 500 mark, right? Mm-hmm. And then we found like 1 or 2 in Wesley Chapel that were right around that 5. It's really 550 to 650 for pre-owned on an average home, like 2,200 square foot or something like that is what we're typically seeing. I mean, Corey, at the end of the day, somebody paid $500,000 for that house and then probably spent another $100,000 at least to put that pool in. You could do it for less. We talk a lot about this. I've seen pools, in ground start. I've heard people say they got pools down for $40,000 or $50,000. But once you add the surround, paver surrounds and add a bird cage, so the screens that go over them. I mean, when we look at the builders build outs, the properties that they do when they have a hot tub or a spa in them, a water feature of some sort, and like maybe a kitchen feature, maybe just a wet bar, they're like 125, 150 grand easy.
And I'm going to say, you get what you pay for. So be very careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
Exactly.
Those people who paid $40K probably waited 12 plus months and had some headaches to get their pool done.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, you're probably gonna, like I said, 550 on the low end, more like 6 to 650 on average is what you should expect for a newer property. You might be able to find something that's 20 years old that has one, but it'll look like it's 20 years old, that type of thing. Where were you last week? This is all I want to know. Sassy but Classy has joined us. She's a mainstay here, y'all. Give it up for Sassy but Classy. But I was concerned you weren't here last week. Stacy and I, we were devastated. You didn't know what was happening.
Well, I wasn't here last week.
Oh, that's right, Marcia.
It was you and Marcia.
It's me and Marcia. So I called out, I was like, we're Sassy but Classy, right? Used to saying that. There you go. Daniel said, oh, listen, these guys are now, listen, 2 Buckeyes in one room. That's not helping anybody here. We need to fix this. Where are my Wolverines at? Love it. All right. That's what I meant. We call it a long-term lease in the UK. Yeah, exactly. Yep. A land lease is that term. Not common, but it does happen. Usually it's condominiums or manufactured or what you might refer to as a mobile home. I don't know what you guys call them in the UK, but those are typical land leases. But single family houses, that's not very common. Difficult to find. Okay. Let me see here. I was in Europe. I missed so many lives, but I'm back. All right. Welcome back, Jennifer. Where did you go in Europe? Now you're making me jealous. Fun fact. My daughters are infatuated with Taylor Swift. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm a father and I'm along for the ride, right? We were looking up tickets because God, I'm gonna say this out. I have to take a breath here because it hurts my heart. My son is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and I pray for him every day. I don't, Stacy, I'm almost embarrassed to say it out loud.
Why,
right?
Why does he like the Dallas?
I don't know. I didn't. That's just the choice he made. I'm telling you right now, I'm like, dude, that is the Darth Vader of football. Like, what are we talking about right now? And they don't win anything, but regardless of that, he loves them. So I bought tickets to go to the Lions are playing the Cowboys in October. I bought tickets and we're all going. Taking the whole family. We're going to go hang out. Holy cow, that was not a cheap ticket. And then my wife's like, well, what are you going to do for your daughters? And I was like, what am I supposed to do for my daughters? She's like, well, they love Taylor Swift. I'm like, well, okay, tell me what that looks like. I have no idea. And she started looking up ticket prices. First of all, you can't get them. They're all gone, right? And she was like, she looked at Miami. I'm like, Miami. I already know what ticket prices are going to be in if you're looking at like LA Forum, Miami, like New York, tickets are going to be the most expensive they can possibly be. They're like $2,500 a ticket.
That's
right?
Crazy.
And I'm like, this is nuts. And I'm bringing it back around to Europe. Walk with me here, guys. So because we said the word Taylor Swift out loud, you're on social media and all of a sudden things are popping up. And you could get tickets in Paris to the Paris show for $100.
Whoa.
And she was like, it might actually be cheaper to fly to Europe to take the girl to the Eras Tour. I'm like, can't we just go watch the movie? They have it at the movie theaters, right? She's like, I don't know how you explain that. But anyway, sorry for the tangent there. But man, for those people who went and seen that girl and pay that kind of money, God bless y'all. Because that's next level. That is next level.
So crazy.
All right. Jen says she went to Italy. Best time. Now I am jealous because that is definitely one of the places I would love to go. We have not been yet. It's this. I'm dying.
It's just one of those nights for you, Juan.
Dude. It is. We got 2 Buckeye fans in the house, and now we've got more Cowboys fans. Jen, you're breaking my heart over here. Breaking my heart. All right. Well, there we go. Says Let them. Okay, we'll do. I don't know. I got nothing else here now. Are there any houses in Tampa with basement? No, absolutely not. We're way too close to the water table here. So I have heard that there are basement-ish homes in Clermont. Actually, I have heard that.
Really?
Yes, I've never seen one with my own eyes, but that is not common. We have sandy soil, and we're barely above sea level. So you'll typically that would be like in an underground pool for most people in Florida is what that would be. So we don't do that. Awesome. We're seeing them again. Ooh, that's going to be listen. By then, Jen, the Cowboys will definitely be out of the playoffs again. So it'll just be a normal. Their schedule is really hard. They're going to find out probably in the first 5 weeks whether they're going to make it in or not. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go down this year. I'm a huge football fan, guys. So let us know. We'll be all fall. We'll be talking about it and checking that out. But that should be a fun game no matter what. The Niners are going to be another good team this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Lived in Frisco. Frisco is that is literally ground zero for all the things Cowboys now. Their training facility and everything's up there. From 2023, didn't care for the them Cowboys and New England Patriots fan. My man, Brady all the way. Go blue, baby. I knew I'd get it in. There it was right there. Jonathan, I owe you one, my brother. There you go. TB12. That's it. See, we got from Cowboys back to Michigan. Do you see how that worked out? Go blue. My man, Jonathan. All right. Miss Olia. Do most builders incentives, closing cost assistance, rate buy downs only apply to inventory homes and not future builds, or would that depend on what incentives are offered? Yes, you answered your own question on the second part of that. They're typically more heavily incentivized on the inventoried homes, depending on what's happening in the marketplace. For us, and I'll wrap up with this evening, our inventory is starting to go up, starting to climb. So they are definitely hot and heavy on the front end right now. Inventoried homes, they're usually given a really good rate, like almost a point or a point and a half less percentage wise. So if the mortgage rates are 7.5%, you might see a 6% or a 5.99 offered by the builder to purchase an inventoried home. They still have great incentives right now for a majority of the properties. They're just structured a little bit different, right? Anything that's inventoried, they're trying to get it off the books ASAP because that thing is coming to completion. No builder wants to hold homes. That's a dangerous place to live. Great question, though. Great question. Love that question. Okay, let me make sure we got no other questions on Instagram. We do. All right. CWhip18 says, what Tampa suburbs? Oh, let me pull this one down. Over on Instagram, y'all. Sorry, I'm not sharing it with you, but it doesn't pull through. It says, what would you recommend for a few Tampa suburbs to check out for a family of 4 coming in from Iowa? What is your ideal lifestyle? You guys want to be by the water? Resort style pools? Are you active? Are the kids in a ton of sports? Like, help us better understand that, and we can give you a little bit more direction. Because honestly, man, like our suburbs are built. They're built to attract families, right? They also are great for singles and working professionals, but they've built this with it. Let's build this and attract the families. And the reason that most developments are built that way is because if you do that, you build good schools. If you build good schools, you keep retention of real estate values. The communities tend to be stronger in general. There's this whole cycle that goes along with that. So it's not just about one or the other, right? Even the 55 plus communities are nestled right alongside of these wonderful communities that are designed to attract families. So great question on that. Just again, we need to know more about what your ideal lifestyle is. Guys, feel free to reach out to us, right? So our contact information is on the screen here. If you go to our website, you can schedule time directly to talk to us. If you go into the description, there's a link to my calendar directly. Don't hesitate to shoot me a text message. We typically get 1 to 2 appointments after every one of these Zoom calls, and we're grateful for it, y'all. Thank you so much for trusting us. Stacy and I were talking about it. We're now up. We've done 178 Zoom calls with people just like you who are considering moving to the area this year. 170. It's not even June. So, and because of that, we have served over 50 families so far this year too. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate you so much for trusting us. We're here to help. Love it. Stacy, let's get into numbers here really quick. Is that cool? You want to try not to go crazy here, but I think it's worthwhile. We haven't talked numbers in a while.
You're trying to remind yourself not to go crazy?
Yes, ma'am.
I know you like your numbers.
I do like my number. I love to nerd out on numbers, and I can't help myself. I think it's important. The thing I do want to talk about some specific things that are happening in the area, because there's some important things to note. We've been getting a lot of phone calls about condos, and I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. I despise the condominium market right now. And I want to be transparent, right, Stacy? Like,
yeah.
Listen, it's a dangerous place to live. And here's what I mean by this. The condo market is I'm going to use some hyperbole right now. Okay. It's imploding. Now that's not entirely true, but it is not on solid ground. And I'll share with you what that looks like here in a second, because I want to share some things that just are mind blowing when you think about it. I can't get this tight. Let me see here. This is what's happening right now. So I want you guys to look at this number here. Is this too small still, Stacy?
Yeah, it needs to be bigger.
Okay. We'll bring it up. Is that better?
I didn't see a difference.
You need to get those eyes checked. All right.
I'm serious. I don't think I've changed.
Okay. It's changing. We will get it changed.
I do have bad eyes.
Here we go.
There we go.
Helps when you're right on the right tab. I want you guys to look at this number. Inventory of active listings. Now, a listing is a home that is marketed for sale on the MLS, the multiple listing service, just so everybody is aware. Okay. Active listings. This means that it's available for purchase. It's not pending accepting backup offers. It's not sold. None of that stuff. It is available and ready to go. Now, when you look at these numbers, this is 2024 in this column here. This is 2023 on the column just to the right of it. Okay. When you see numbers like this up 96.1%, people look at that and they might start freaking out. We're still not even back to pre-pandemic levels of inventory. So that's the first thing I want people to take note of. All right. But there's something deeper here that I want everybody to see. Okay. I want to take a step back on this. That is for single family homes. If you look up in the right corner here, this is active inventory for single family homes. So this is not a condo, a townhome, or a manufactured home or a villa. It is a single family home only. So what was that number again, Stacy?
96%.
Yeah, but let's look at the actual number.
2734.
This is the actual number. Okay. Now, this is for ending the month of March. Okay, so this is April's information that we're coming out with here. Where is it? Bear with me, y'all. Track down this number I was looking for. It's so crowded now. I can't see it. Let me back out. It's killing me, Smalls. All right.
No, you're making me dizzy.
There we go. There. I know it was killing me too. I'm sorry. But I can only read it one way. All right. Now here's what I want you to do. This is such a big number. This is the total number of active inventory, active listings. So 6,369. 6,369. Where's my calculator? Dun, dun, dun. 6369. Remember that number, Stacy. 6369. And I'm going to go back over here. Try to move this thing down. 6369. There we go. Remember you got my number?
Yep, 6369.
I'm going to pull up my calculator again. It's not the ideal tool for this, but 2734 minus what?
Minus 6369.
3,674 And 35 of those listings are condos or townhouses. 3,600. Holy cow. Holy cow. 60% of the available properties to purchase in Pinellas County, Clearwater, St. Pete, are condos. And that's not a good thing.
What's going on? Why?
Well, we've talked before about the structural engineering recertification that has to take place on a condominium that is 3 stories or taller and 30 years or older. We've also talked about the fact that you now have to fully fund the condominium reserves in order to sustain any repairs or damages that would occur due to storms or anything else like that. And what is happening, y'all, is these condominium homeowners have been slapped with humongous bills. Now, we're hearing numbers as high as $100,000 per owner to bring these properties up to standards. We've seen properties, we've sold a property in the last 6 months that was what, $30,000, Stacey? They had to assume a $30,000 repair. Yeah. And oh, by the way, that was just the repair. That wasn't funding the reserves, right? Yet. Yeah. And listen, our purchaser, the person who bought that condo was not concerned with that. They had the money, they can make it happen. We made them very aware of this. But what we're sharing with you guys is people who are on fixed incomes that do not have the means to make those things happen, they're in dire straits. And this is putting the market in a really, really big upside down world, if you will. So I'm sharing this with you guys because unless you have the means to purchase a condo that's on the beach, if that's your dream, and listen, if you have the money, I'm never going to stand in anybody's way, but condos, you got to be very mindful. Now, if it's 2 stories or less, you don't fall in that same category. Okay. That's something to take note of, but that condo inventory is going to be a real sticking point for at least the next 6 months. What I think is going to be is because by the end of this year, they're supposed to have that fully funded, Stacey. I think we're going to get that extended, but no one signed off on that yet. And what that means is condos are going to go on a fire sale because people can't afford to stay in them. So if you're an investor, really good time to be mindful of that. And if you're not, we'll pray for y'all because it is a tough market, right? In the condos, at the days on market is really, really long. They're staying on market for over 90 days at this point, depending on where you're at. And Tampa, Pinellas County is one thing. Go further south, it gets way worse. It gets way worse.
So when do the repairs have to be done?
By the end of this year. Oh, the repair, 2026. Hold on, look it up. The certification just has to be done by the end of the year, I believe. Let me go back into it. But I wanted to bring this to you guys, and I'll put the link to the requirements in the description after you're watching this. But I want people to be mindful of this, okay? Because they're seeing condos. I'm getting calls. Hey, we're seeing condo prices go down, and then when I tell them what's going on, they're like, "Oh man!" And each condominium is going to be entirely different. There is no answer until they have that engineering certification. And then what they're getting is an estimate. And this is why I want everybody to think through this because, Stacey, how many times have you had a contractor come to your house and the job was exactly what they quoted?
I just went through this with my floor in my bathroom. And yeah, we spent way more than what we had budgeted.
Always, right?
Yeah.
My dad was in the trades. He told me to always factor in an additional 35%.
Whoa.
And that wasn't so he was making more money. He goes, it's just the reality of opening up old things, right? Yeah. You almost inevitably always find something else you weren't looking for that needs to be corrected. And I'm sharing this with you guys out of concern, right? And just being mindful, like we want our clients to win, but we want you to be fully aware of what the potential downfalls could be. So again, investors, keep your eye on the ball, man, because there's going to be some really good deals on condos in the state of Florida over the next at least 6 months to 18 months. You're going to find great deals. Okay. At some point, this will get sorted out. It has to. Legally, they got requirements. It has to be done by the end of 2025. Again, I think it's going to get extended, but that hasn't happened yet. So I'm bringing this to y'all. And I know a lot of you are like, we're not buying condos. We're not buying. I know, but I'm telling you right now, you want to be aware of this stuff because it puts pressure on the overall market, right? It puts pressure on the overall market. So you also see people running around that inventory in Florida is exploding, and that part of that is true, but a majority of that is coming from condos. So if you're looking for single family homes, it's not the same market. They're different, right? So just keep that in mind. I want you to be aware of it. And we wanted to share that with you guys just so you can have some insights on what's happening there in the overall market, because the market's still really strong and healthy. We are seeing continued increasing inventory, which is great for home buyers, not necessarily great for home sellers, but it's getting back to a more neutral and what I would consider a more normal market. We're not quite back to 2018 inventory levels, which we would consider a normal market, but they're heading that direction. So that's just something to be mindful of. Okay, let's talk really quick, and then we'll just kind of knock this out. Overall, sales are up. Sales were down. The number of homes that actually sold, they were down 6.9%, but they're still moving along pretty good. But we're at a bottom, y'all. When people ask, the last 2 years have been a housing recession in terms of the number of sales. We went from 6.5 million homes sold in 2022, to almost 4 million last year. And we may even be down to like 3.9 this year. So we're in a housing recession in terms of the number of sales that are selling. Okay. The median sales price, as you can see, right? Even with that being said, it's still increased $20,000 year over year. That's the median. Now the median means that half of the activity was above and half of it was below. That's the median. The average sales price, that is the one where most people want to live, right? And average meaning that's the sum divided by the number of sales. That's what you come to, 500,000. And depending on where you're going to want to live, that number may change. If you come over to Pinellas County, Clearwater, St. Pete, the average home sold for $688,000, up 9.1%. Stacy, I mean, people they'll call me like, prices are going down. I'm like, no, asking prices are going down. I know you guys see asking prices. You'll see people are taking price cuts. They absolutely are, but they're not pricing them correctly to begin with. And what you ask and what someone pays is entirely different. And as you can see here, documented evidence, people are paying more, right, than they were last year. That's what this is saying, year over year. But oh my word, right?
Yep. The house is only worth how much the buyer's willing to pay for it.
Yeah. But this is Pinellas County. So again, when we go back to the first one that I was showing y'all here, as you can see on the left side of this, hopefully you can see it. This includes Hernando County, Pasco County, where Stacy is, Pinellas County, where I am, Hillsborough County. Okay, that's what they're calling here. Just so you're aware. Hernando sells for a lot less than Pasco, Hillsborough, Pinellas. That's why that number is drugged down so far. But the average number in the greater Tampa Bay area, 500,000. So keep that in mind. That's up 7% year over year. Just in terms of looking at it, the time to contract, this is getting longer. Last year, well, technically year over year, we're at 0%, but we were down in the teens in the spring last year, and it started to creep up right around this time. The median time to sale, new pending sales is down. Again, the sales are down. That's different than the actual price. That's what I want everybody to keep focused on. Inventory, we just talked about that. New listings are up. We're getting closer to that the normalcy that we saw in 2018. So keep that in perspective. And then the months of supply, 2.6%. Now, remember, a neutral market is 6 months of inventory, meaning that the seller doesn't have the upper hand and the buyers don't have the upper hand. 6 months, that's what that would be. But 2.6 months of supply. Okay. Don't want to nerd out too much. Everybody kind of slowed down with the questions on that. So. That's cool. But listen, the numbers don't lie. I always tell people, like, don't take my word for it. Look at the numbers, right? And I love sharing this stuff because Stacy, I mean, you joined us. It's been what, 18 months roughly since you joined us, somewhere around there. And at that point, people were telling us that the market was ridiculous and it was going to crash. People had been telling us for a year prior to that it was going to crash. People told us a year prior to that. And guess what? I was on that team that the market was insane. 2020, 2021. That's Wally World. No one should ever expect that again. There was literally a global pandemic that changed everything, right? 3 to 5% steady state appreciation on real estate, that should be an expected return. Anything more than that is a blessing from the heavens, right? But when you look at Pinellas County, when you look at Pasco County is one of the fastest growing counties in the country, y'all. Okay. That's why it's continuing to grow the way it is. It's attracting high income earners. You know, Stacy, the most recent video we launched this past weekend, I got more negative, like just, I had, there was a comment in there today where let's just say it was very, I literally was like, it took everything in me not to get ratchet, right? Like everything in me, just because people are losing their minds. But I'm sharing this with everybody because like man, affordability is a serious problem. Okay. And I know it's not for everybody. And I'm not here to listen. This is America. If you work hard and you get ahead, amen. I am an entrepreneur. Trust you me. I am on that side. I moved to Florida because I like paying less tax. We shared with you guys last week. We're the 4th best state in the entire country for tax burdens. My people. We moved here because of those types of things, right? I love having more freedom. But let's be real, y'all. We have family members, we have people who are being challenged with affordability. So it feels like a very interesting market of have and have nots. And I'm not here to listen. I want people to win. I'm not mad at anybody for it. I'm never going to look down on somebody for winning in life. I'm grateful that we live in a country where we have that opportunity. We just celebrated a holiday. Where we remember people who gave selflessly so we could do things like that. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for their families, right? For people who didn't ask to participate in that sacrifice, who still did it, right? And I just want to say thank you to the fallen. Thank you to the fallen's family. There are generations who have been impacted because people chose to go out and do that. We're grateful, y'all. Okay. And I will never, ever look down on anyone for winning in this country. So I'm grateful for that. But just be mindful, y'all, that there is an affordability crisis in this country right now. It's not getting better. And I just showed you why. Right. I just showed you why. So we're grateful to serve. We've had some of the most incredible clients over the last 3 years. My life has totally changed since moving to Florida. Right. And listen, we serve people. I get to serve human beings, and our business has exploded because we're willing to go out and document cities for you and answer the tough questions and share the truth. Right. Like, you're calling me about a condo right now and you're on a fixed income. I can't imagine any scenario where that makes sense, but I'm not your financial advisor. Right. So I want you to hear our heart on this. I love where we live. I think we're going to continue to grow and develop. There's a lot of investment happening here in Tampa. Big developments, hundreds of millions of dollars. People are pouring into the area in specific developments because they are long on this area. And it's going to continue to grow, and we're grateful to serve. So thank you for your opportunity to do that. And if you're considering moving to the area, just know that we've got your back, y'all. We're here to get engaged and answer those questions. Got a few more people who've chimed in late. I just want to say hello to them before we wrap up this evening. What is up, my man?
Hi, Chris.
I know. He reached out to me today about plumbing. I got you. I'm going to have my plumber call you. Okay. So he's asking me about water softeners and those things. We're right in the mix of doing it. So I'm going to connect you to my plumber directly. And he can answer those questions, because he can start talking about stuff that I don't understand, man. Like, all I know is the wife says her hair sucks. She wants it fixed, and we've got to fix it. Right. So we're doing some kind of like whole home reverse osmosis, like alkaline. Stacy, we're doing the whole thing. I don't even know.
Yeah, you got to do it. You have to do it. Not just is it better on your hair and skin, but it's easier on your appliances. So you're going to save money. Yeah.
Right. Your plumbing line, all the things, right? Like all the things that go in there. Yeah. That is, we've shared this. I'll share it again. The water in Florida sucks. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It sucks. I'm sorry for the strong language. If you've got little entrepreneurial ears in the background, forgive me if your parents don't allow you to use that word. We prefer those kids not to. But I'm just being real. Our water sucks. So sharing the truth, y'all. Sharing the truth. But I'll get you that info, man. I did not forget about you. Jennifer says, thoughts on Lutz in Cheval areas for new families. Yeah, Lutz has got a great high school over there too. If you just go north though, you're in Pasco, Texas, which are less than Hillsborough. Just saying. Okay, right? You're right on the border. Good, bad, or indifference. Totally up to you guys and what you're trying to accomplish from a budget perspective, but just sharing that. All right, says, I think Texas is the most affordable state for houses right now. For sure, houses, taxes are cost more. We get a lot. We've had a lot of calls from Texas over the last few months, and taxes are less here. They're paying an overall less cost of living to live here than they are in Texas. But the purchase price of home, you can get a 3,500 square foot home out in like Katy, Texas, for like 385 grand, Stacy. Brand new. I mean, it's like amazing. You know what I mean?
It looks like a mansion.
Their taxes are more than yours.
Wow.
Yes. Crazy talk on that one. So, but Texas is awesome too. Texas is awesome. All right. Janina says, Two Rivers besides Lennar and D.R. Horton. Who else is building there? Stacy?
Homes by West Bay. They are releasing, they're doing pre-sale lots right now. Pulte is developing land over there. I believe Toll Brothers is going in. There's a list. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head right now.
Yep.
MI.
Yeah, those are the semi-custom out there. So really, those are all good builders. Mm-hmm. Again, I do believe we're spoiled. Our semi-custom builders they do a really nice job. Really, really nice job. You're definitely have some options over there in that respect. And they're really starting to take off in Two Rivers. I have not done a video on that. I know Stacy was actually chastising me this week, letting me know that I am behind the 8 ball on getting out in the communities. And listen, y'all, I waited till it's now 90 degrees and now I'm going to go sweat in the streets. Showing you those communities, but we're going to do that. Here's what I would love. If you're watching this and you made it this far, thank you so much for being with us. Let us know what communities you would like videos done on. I know we've done some in the past, but it's probably time to refresh a lot of those. So my goal for the remaining half of 2024 is going to be to do a refresh on a lot of those communities, get into a lot of these newer communities that are about to break ground, because there are more than a few that are getting ready to crack ground here as well, and get you all up to speed on that. So please feel free to let us know. Let us know in the description. I'm sorry, in the comments. Happy to make that connection, and we'll make it a priority to do that. And just a heads up, y'all, I'm going to take potentially a 3-week sabbatical here at the end of June into July, and spend time with family up north, just to share with you guys. So we may or may not be on these lives. I'm going to try to help the ladies here. They're going to do a takeover, but they're both anxious about technology. So
I think this is funny. He thinks Marsha and I are going to take over.
I think we can do it. I think
this is going to be comical. I'll just tell you.
Yeah. So we will check into that. We'll let y'all know. Janina says hi from Long Island. Yes, Long Island is awesome. So many people from Long Island recently. And yes, I will do that video, of course.
Hey, Juan, have you heard of Park Square Homes?
Yes, they are in. They're in Two Rivers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking up.
We haven't built one with them yet, but they're there, and they're I think in Parish too. One of the communities. I'll have to take a look because I was just looking at some of their properties the other day.
Yeah. What about Kenwood Living?
Don't know them.
And Taylor Morrison's going in over there. We didn't mention that.
Okay, we'll check that out. Adam, what's up, my man?
Adam.
How was that beach on the holiday, dude? You brave soul.
I bet he was toasted. It was smoking hot.
It was hot, but man, those beaches were so busy. My wife went down to meet with her girlfriends on Saturday morning, and Stacy, she said it took her 35 minutes to get parking.
Oh my gosh,
where we are normally like super laid back, and then she sent me 3 photos, and she was home within 30 minutes after that. She was like, she's like, this is why we don't do the holidays. But listen, for those of you who fly in, we totally understand. We're grateful that you appreciate our beaches. And that's the thing. Without that, we wouldn't be able to enjoy them the rest of the time when you guys aren't here. So we do appreciate it. But man, it was busy. It was busy. So shout out to you guys for enduring. Jennifer says Odessa and Carrollwood. Yes. Yeah. Yes to both. Odessa, definitely more laid back. Carrollwood, very close to Tampa and all the amenities there. You don't have as many newer developments in Carrollwood as you do in Odessa. So that would be the main 2 differences there, just to keep that in perspective. Love to see Parish, Wesley Chapel on the outside of Wesley Chapel. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll dig back into those. Like I said, it's been a while. Now you got us looking at Wesley Chapel for homes. It's a nice area. It's a nice area. Adam says, yes, amazing. Went to honeymoon. Oh, dude, that's what I was telling Stacy. So there was a photo, Adam, of Memorial Day, the line to get into Honeymoon Island, because that causeway is 2.5 miles. Let me show everybody on the map really quick. Let's give some perspective. I want to pull it up on Facebook, because it was like, that photo was shocking to me. Honeymoon Island State Park is beautiful, y'all. For those of you who've never seen it, you are missing out, because it's absolutely incredible. But it's a state park located just west of the universe, literally, in Dunedin here. So it's at the very northern end of Dunedin. Technically, the road that it's on, this 586, is the border between Palm Harbor and Dunedin, for those of you who are wondering. So this road right here, that's the dividing line. To the north is Palm Harbor, and to the south is Dunedin. Dunedin's an amazing coastal community. You guys have probably heard me wax poetic about it many times. It was one of the places that made us decide to move here, because it's beautiful. But there's a gorgeous causeway that goes across where you can launch boats, you can paddleboard, you can kayak, you can do all kinds of stuff. There's usually dolphin hanging out there. It's just stunning. There's a little tiki bar you can probably see here, restaurant out there. Just a really cool spot before you get to Honeymoon Island State Park. So lots of cool things to do over there. But this causeway here is 2.5 miles. And at 7:30 in the morning, that bad boy was backed up. All the way across. So shout out to you, Adam. I love that you guys braved the wild out there to get over there. Yes, it was a long line, but it went fast. I'm glad to hear that. Kudos to Stacy. She put in a very long Sunday on this holiday week. Much appreciated. We appreciate you, my
You're
man.
welcome, Adam. It was a pleasure. And they were very dedicated, I have to say. Like, they got in at 2:30 in the morning Friday night, and they were up exploring Wesley Chapel like at 6:30.
They drive?
No, I think they flew in from Boston.
And they got in at 2:30?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's very interesting. Our airport shuts down. Oh, okay. You guys, something must have happened. They must have got stuck. I'm sorry you guys were in so late, but hopefully you got what you needed. She did tell
the day of it.
Yeah, she did tell me that you're kind of flipping the script a little bit on where you're. I'm hearing that where you're moving. You ain't moving right next to the dance clubs, is what I'm hearing is on the radar. So I've got questions. About what's going on there. You said layovers in Baltimore. That makes sense. I was about to say, because we don't bring people in at 2:00 in the morning typically. So okay, that's helpful. Well, I'm glad you had a good trip, my man. I'm glad it was fruitful. Like I said, guys, we are so grateful for the opportunity to serve. If you have more questions, or you're considering reaching out, thinking about moving to the area, don't hesitate to connect with us. Contact information is on the screen. If you're watching on YouTube later, you'll see a link to our calendar where you can literally schedule a time to meet with us, talk about what communities might be right for you, and then hopefully help you make a decision whether it is or it isn't. Those aren't sales calls. They're just an opportunity to be your guide. So we're grateful to do it. Stacy, any final words before we sign off for the evening?
just thank you guys. I'm glad to be back this week. I missed you. And again, I love seeing those names come up every week. I feel like I'm hanging out with friends. It's so good to see.
Yep. Yeah, you guys are awesome. We appreciate you very much. Sassy but classy. Shout out to you for showing up. My two hairless nuts. And for those of you who know what a Buckeye is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For anybody who was like, what is he talking about? That is a Buckeye, for anyone wondering, because they love to poke fun at the fact that we have a great rivalry. Go Blue, of course. Y'all have a great week. God bless. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Good night.
Later.